Hi everyone, it's Alia or Cake Legend and welcome to day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas cakes. Today we're going to be making this really cute unicorn style reindeer buttercream cake. This unicorn trend style is so cute, of course I had to do a reindeer cake. So to start off, instead of stacking our cake, we're going to make the fondant decoration so that this can have some time to dry. Making the nose was super easy. You just take some red fondant and roll it into a ball, and then I stuck a broken toothpick into the side so that it'd be easier to put it on the cake and there would be no risk of it falling down. Next, I grabbed the black fondant and I took 2 small pieces off, rolled them into balls so that I could make sure they were the same size because I'm all about everything being super even. And then I took those 2 little balls of fondant and rolled them into snakes, with one end a little tapered and pointy, and then I shaped them into the eyes. Really simple. And then I put them aside to dry. Next, we have this really dark brown, almost blackish colored fondant, which I used to make the antlers. So first I broke it in half and I took off 2 more small pieces, just making sure that everything was really even, and I was going to use the extra pieces to add little details to the antlers. Then I took the bigger pieces of fondant and rolled each of them into a log, again with one end being a little bigger and one end being a little more skinny and pointy. And then I took one of those wooden skewers and broke it in half, or you could use like the extra long toothpicks, and I stuck one into each of the antlers. Gave it another little roll too, just to make sure one side didn't go flat. After that, I took some of the small pieces of fondant that I set aside before, rolled little fondant balls, and then rolled them into like teardrop shapes. And I stuck those onto our logs to create the antlers. Now it's time for the ears. So I have this lighter beige colored fondant, which I just rolled out really thin. Then I grabbed an X-Acto blade and cut it down the middle so that I had a flat part to work with. And I cut out a little triangle on each side, with the flat part being at the bottom, of course. Then I rolled out the darker brown colored fondant and did the same thing, cut it down the middle, and I stuck each of the light triangles to the dark fondant and then cut around them to create the darker brown outline. And then we have cute little reindeer ears. So I set aside all of this fondant decoration to dry while I worked on the cake. Since this one was going to be masked in chocolate buttercream, of course I had to do the chocolate cake with chocolate ganache filling. Here I am stacking my cake like I normally do. No turntable required, and if you want to find a tutorial on how to do this, you can just click in the top right-hand corner. But I assembled my cake and put it into the fridge to chill. When it was firm enough to be masked, I brought it back out and did a crumb coat. Just your basic crumb coat. However, if you watch a lot of my tutorials, then you know I like to skip the crumb coat a lot. And if you want to find that tutorial, it's in the top right-hand corner. Once my crumb coat was done and the cake was ready to be masked, I made some chocolate buttercream and started masking away. Since I was doing this on these little teeny tiny 4-inch cakes, of course I wanted to use my small offset instead of my regular large one. And this was just regular masking, smooth finish on the top and sides. Once my cake was all masked in this beautiful chocolate buttercream, I started adding the fondant decoration, starting with the eyes, making sure that they're very even and centered on the cake, and then I stuck in the nose. I grabbed this Wilton 4B tip and threw it into a piping bag with some of that chocolate buttercream so I could start piping on the swirls on top, going down the sides. If you've ever made a unicorn cake, you know the drill. Just scattering the swirls about, letting them flow down the side of the cake. When I was done with the chocolate buttercream, I grabbed this Wilton tip number 18 and I mixed up some green and red buttercream. Starting with the green, I put it into the piping bag and started piping even more little rosettes to fill in those gaps between the chocolate rosettes and adding a little more flair. This really helps to break up the one color that we've just been seeing throughout this cake. As another fun little touch, I added some gold pearls. And then I finished it off by adding those ears and the antlers that we created at the beginning, placing them right into that buttercream while it's still soft before I chill the cake. And with that, this cake is all done. Definitely one of my favorite cake trends of all time. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial for this really cute unicorn cake. Be sure to leave a like and comment if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, I'll see you tomorrow for the next Christmas cake. Bye!